to the US after I got married. So a long time ago, I had visited the US before, but a few times, and I wasn't very fluent in English. I mean, you can still hear my big, thick accent, but when I first moved to the US, I couldn't even string a sentence all in English. I kept asking my husband, ¿Cómo se dice? ¿Cómo se dice? ¿Cómo se dice? Um, I moved to the US after I got married. Um, Me and my husband and I were in between jobs. He got an offer to work in Dallas, and I was doing writing my thesis. I wanted to be an academic, and I was applying to graduate school. And since I still didn't know where I was going to go, um, we said, wherever Danny gets a job, I guess that's where I'll try to apply. And we ended up in Dallas, Texas. So that was over 20 years ago. I didn't always cook. I was a terrible cook. I've always been a phenomenal eater. I have the biggest appetite. I am the youngest of four daughters. All of my sisters are also in the world of food. And my sisters used to worry, and my mom too, because I always used to eat since I was very little. I used to eat the same amount of food as my father, and my father, he's very big and tall. So they always used to say, like, Patty, you can't eat. I was like 5 or 6, and they would say, you can't eat the same amount as this big man. So I've always been a really good eater. I love food so much, but I wasn't a good cook. I did grow up surrounded by phenomenal cooks from my grandmothers, my mom, and my sisters. And I I mean, I could do quesadillas and scramble some eggs and get by. But by the time I got married and moved to Texas, it wasn't until Daniel and I started living here in the US that I started cooking to feed us and to really try to make our home away from home feel like home. But no, I was terrible. I over seasoned things. I get very enthusiastic with seasonings, especially with chiles and salsas. And I mean, I'm still as enthusiastic, but I've learned to tame my enthusiasm when it comes to seasoning. But I'm the proof that you can start cooking later in life. We were just in Peru, and I wasn't able to try the guinea pig. Um, I felt terrible about it. I mean, I felt terrible about the guinea pigs because they're so cute, but I also felt terrible about not eating a food that's so beloved to Peruvians, and they're so proud about it. And I've always been able to eat everything, but I just couldn't. I couldn't try it. Everybody in my family did, and they're now like reminding me at every turn. Um, but other than that, I've always eaten everything that's been presented to me, or that I've had the chance. You know what? That is such a great question. My husband and I have talked about it like at every 3 or 4 years. Um, we love Mexico so much. All of our families are there. All of my sisters, my parents, my tias, tios, primos, all of Danny's family is there too, except for one sister that moved to Toronto. But everybody else is there, and we've thought about it many times. And to be honest, we still think about it, especially now that our parents are more grandparents. And with COVID, it really made us think because we couldn't see them often. Now, the only thing is that our boys were born here in the US, and even though they're incredibly proud of about being Mexican, they're also studying here in the US, and they feel very Mexican American. Um, so I don't know. Obviously, you asked me a very tough question. Okay, I've been asked this question, and I always say the same thing, and I will never change my response. And it is milanesas de pollo con puré de papa. I live and die for those. Just crispy, crunchy chicken milanesas, chunky mashed potatoes. Of course, I have to have chipotle sin adobo on the side. And hey, if you want to give me a salad, chayote, squash salad, ensaladita de chayotes or de nopales, I'll take it too. But I'd be happy just with the. Sorry for my kids. I always tell them to eat their greens and their vegetables, but I'd be really happy with just the milanesa y el puré de papas. Agua de limón con chía, lime and
Mm.
peanut butter. Yeah, yeah. I love chia. Italian. I love Italian. I think that Italian food and Mexican food have so much in common because we like to serve generously. We like to both dress up and sauce up, and it's family style and it's messy. I love it that, the family style Italian food is bring things to the table and everybody serves themselves. And I find that there's a lot of commonalities with Mexican food that way. I mean, here at home, I make carnitas, I bring them to the center of the table. Everybody makes their tacos, very similar to how Italians serve their pasta. And I love pasta, love pasta. Dog. Mila, my kids have been asking for a dog for a long, long time. And finally, I broke down with the pandemic. We were all here locked in, and we got Mila, and she's really enriched our lives and our family. And of course, it's been a very challenging and hard time for everybody. I think the strength in the bonds that you make with your family when you have to lock down are really incredible and intense. And yeah, as I said, we have Mila now. Yeah. I am stuck in the 80s. Just brings me back, um everything but the girl, level 42, Eurythmics, Annie Lennox, Fleetwood Mac. I'm just stuck there. I try to learn new music from my boys. It's great, and they have really good taste, and they like alternative things. But the music that really makes me feel like home is that music. But the funny thing is that I don't know if this happens to you, Ix, that every time I go back to Mexico, they're playing 80s and 90s music. So
You're right.
I'm not the only Mexican stuck there, you know? Well, I mean, I love the program that we host, that you guys host with me at the Mexican Cultural Institute so much. It is how I transitioned from being a political analyst to a chef, and it is how I connected with our crowd, with the people that love the content that we do. It is, um, I started the classes there, with classes that were very historical, very like magical realism. It was, I remember the first class was, Puebla and the Fiestas Patrias, and then we had the history of vanilla, in Veracruz, and then we've had the foods of the Mexican Revolution. And so finding a partner like you guys that really embraced sharing and exploring and feeding our food through our history and our legends and our people and our culture has been the luckiest thing that's happened to me. I guess my best memory is the people that do not miss a class. We just have a group of people. I think it's been 12 years that I've been teaching at the Mexican Cultural Institute, and there's people that have hardly missed a class, and they've become like family. So I mean, the smells of the kitchen at the institute I love and I miss so much. The light coming in from the windows, that building is so incredibly beautiful, and to be able to cook and serve surrounded by all the flags of all of our states and the murals that depict all of our history. It's been such an incredible privilege. I mean, I really think that we just have to ride out this last wave. We were all very excited that everything was getting open, and I feel like now, with the developments, people are like locking in a little bit, and we just have to be careful because we used to have a crowd of 100, 120 people, and it's a lot of being together. But I really think that in a few months we're gonna be able to pick it up again, and maybe we start with groups that are a little bit smaller. So maybe we don't have 100 or 120 people, but maybe we have 60 and it's a little bit more spaced out. But I definitely feel like we'll get there in a few months as we all learn to live with these, and it evolves into something much more manageable, which I'm very optimistic. I know. I just got the advanced copy. This is the preview copy, and I'll tell you all about this cookbook. This is a cookbook that I've been working on for like almost 4 years, and it has classic Mexican foods that not many people north of the border know about, but that they will become beloved in their homes too. These are like heirloom foods and recipes that have been passed down through generations. Some are just known in Mocorito, Sinaloa. Some are known in regions. Some are known all throughout Mexico. But it's like family friendly, accessible foods, and it's showing people how there's much more that can enrich their tables. And so I'll tell you this story. We were working on the photos for the food, which, I mean, the photos are so beautiful.
Mm.
They're like so gorgeous. And with the same photographer, we were working on the portrait for the cover. And we did manage to take some beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous photos. But then talking with the publisher, they kept saying how much they loved the photo of my profile, which is this one. And then we asked the photographer permission if we could use this one. And this photo, this was taken by Jen Chase at the Mexican Cultural Institute spontaneously. She had come to do an interview for a local magazine, and I had no hair or makeup or anything. I was wearing my chef's coat that I wear for the classes, and I showed her my favorite room at the Mexican Cultural Institute, which is the music room. And she said, Pati, the light is so beautiful next to the window. Like, can you find some ingredients in the kitchen to grab? And I grabbed one of the ceramic bowls where we put our ingredients in, and just whatever ingredients we had there, which were our usual, avocado, mango, chile, cilantro, and just put it all in there and just stood next to the window. And she took this photo, and right here, where this window is, this window, and that light is coming from the window. And she captured what the Mexican Cultural Institute is for Mexicans here in the US, and what it means to me. And when we mocked the photo as the cover of the book, everybody at the publishing house loved it. And so I'm so happy that it is there, because it's where really where my cooking career started, and where I will continue as long as you guys will have me. So this means a lot to me, and this book is now available on pre-order, and maybe we can do so the book comes out November 2nd. So maybe we can do some like cookbook signing event that's not too big, or maybe we time it for small groups of people to come. I can cook some things to taste, or something, like if we feel like we're ready. But I would love to celebrate this with you all.